Sometimes I forget. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the work session for May 16th, 2023 to 6 o'clock. I call this meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Orndorff,
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt, Commissioner Sui,
Here.
Commissioner Watson,
Here.
Commissioner Romanek.
Here.
Stamped with the salute of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who's got that? Sharon. Who's got that going?
Well, I mean, so you can see the progress of weakness.
Oh, it's just the picture? Okay, sorry. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975 as advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
There have been no changes to the work session agenda.
Okay, thank you. Public comment on agenda items only. If anybody has any questions or comments on the agenda items, please come to the podium, state your name, and address those comments and concerns. Seeing nobody, will close public comment on agenda items only for the work session. Go to discussion of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Well, parlaying off of the progress shown here, I do hear a lot of city residents saying it's good to see this coming down. Obviously, you can see a lot of it from G Street currently, but I'm wondering if we ever got that updated drone shot video, Vice Mayor?
No, not yet. I'll give you their number and you can call them later on if you have time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But other than that, no, it's good to see the city rolling in the right direction and business slowly and surely is approaching. So that is, but other than that, that is all.
Awesome, thank you. Commissioner Watson?
Nothing at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I will check on the video for you. Yeah, they did promise. I want to turn your attention to item 18.1 on the regular agenda. The ordinance is on first reading concerning
18.1.
an ordinance amending the code, chapter 11,
Yes.
business occupancy permit. So we had a discussion about that today. As it stands now, if you hold a license, say a lawyer, doctor, whatever, you don't need to get the business occupancy license. If you don't and you're operating a business from home, you're supposed to. So the discussion came up and said, why do we want to put that burden on anyone? It's not fair the way it is, and if you're selling cookies, washing cars, whatever it is you're doing, why do we need your $150? Don't you have enough problems when you're trying to deal with the state of New Jersey with the business? Skip your sales tax 1 quarter. I did that. It cost me about $1,200 just because I forgot to send it. So there's enough regulations and rules, but that's up to you guys if you want that little bit of revenue. Personally, I don't think it's enough to make a huge dent. I don't even know how much it is off the top of my head. It didn't even stick out to me in the budget.
So this is only for people who don't have a license, that have a business within Millville, or just a home business?
If you're operating from home.
Okay,
So say you're a lawyer, you live on 2nd Street, and you have your shingle out there, you don't have to pay it.
right. But if
So-
you're
But if you're
washing cars,
washing cars from your home, then you have to get the business permit
through the city.
through the city. So you're already.
But you already have to do that through the state of New Jersey,
All
which
the
is
stuff
probably
you
like
have
a
to do
couple
is-
$100 a year or something like
Yeah,
that.
so I don't know, I don't see any reason for this. To me,
think
it's
we
just
already have
more
enough problem
restrictive.
getting
We have
business
enough
in
problems,
Millville.
Enough problems getting businesses, and if Ben, you want to start a business, and I don't see why we have to impose another fee. It's kind of crazy.
Redundancy, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So should we
so I think we should just make a motion to table and let it die.
table it?
Yeah, I mean, I could have pulled it off the agenda, but then we always have questions of why we pull something off the agenda. So in the
Agree.
interest of transparency, I thought it better just to leave it on and do it this way.
That was one of my questions for this evening. So that, yeah, I agree that I think that, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, Commissioner Watson and Commissioner Romanek, but I don't think it should be, I don't think we should make it harder for someone to have a business in Millville with the state of the economy.
And, hopefully the business expands, they have to move into a commercial building.
And there you go.
No. I agree with all what you're saying. I think it's just an added burden in the process.
Do we know who?
And there's no difference with their, I mean, like you said before, a lawyer at your house, but you're outside your house and then you got to pay the $150. So
I
You're
don't
talking
think
about
it's-
residents trying to start their own businesses. It's just the beginning. Like you said, it's gonna be hard enough for them to begin, hard for them to get their, business off the ground. We think it's a good idea to make it easier for them. Helps out our area.
Yep.
And how are they gonna know about it until they come to the
Yeah,
city and then
really,
it's
they're
like,
not
oh, there's
gonna- they're not
another,
gonna
right,
know
so then
until
they don't wanna get
somebody knocks on the
fined
door
and
and
then,
tells them.
right, yeah, I
So-
would wanna, do we know who or how this got on the agenda, who put it on there, who advised us to do this by
Well,
chance,
I
or?
believe it all started with zoning and then went from there.
Okay. Okay, well, I think we have a consensus, I think we should just table that for now and go from there.
Second thing I have is we received a notice, public notice from the Coast Guard concerning a Main Street bridge.
I received that notice.
Everybody
Thank you.
received
Correct.
it, but engineering received it first with you. So engineering called, you didn't call the Coast Guard too, did you?
No, I didn't
No,
call the
okay,
Coast
I'm
Guard. I
just
forwarded
checking.
it to engineering
I
to
don't
make
wanna
sure
steal
we
your-
were like,
I don't wanna
hey.
steal- I don't want to steal your thunder. So engineering contacted the Coast Guard today. And the Coast Guard said if we simply read the notice at a public meeting, that would serve the notice on the public. So at the regular session, I'll be.
You have the
reading
notice
this.
to read,
Yeah, I
okay.
have it in front of me.
I know
so-
Jeannie posted it on all the boards. Sam's putting it on the website, so that's been
So we'll
taken
be
care of.
covered. They're just looking for comments. I guess they're gonna lower the bridge a couple inches. Originally we thought they were gonna make DOT wanted to higher, the Coast Guard wants to lower, I don't know. So
Okay.
at any rate, that's the way it is. Next we see, I don't know who else received it, we received correspondence from the Army Airfield Museum concerning a drainage problem they have. The drainage problem should fall under the DRVA. They have their own stormwater permit. We went out there to look, see if we could see anything obvious, just in order to assist, as we got a call for help from them. We didn't see anything, we're just gonna check tomorrow and make sure it's not a water leak. So that's where that's at, in case anybody's watching, looking, listening. I know, I think we got an email from one of the board members at the museum, so that's where that's at, and that's all I have.
All right, I just had a couple questions if we can review. I didn't have enough time to speak with Brock. Brock, I think I had just a question and you kind of just went over this, was the ordinance number 3 was the Millville chapter 30 land use and development regulations. If I understand this correctly, this is just introducing this plan. It's going to go to the planning board for them to review, make sure it is matches up with the master plan, and then it has to come back to us.
That's right, and it's, what it is, it's actually the zoning ordinance. It's the zoning ordinance revised, and Ms. Fagley's here, and she's the one that did all of the hard work. We were required to amend our zoning ordinance by virtue of the land use element that was adopted by the planning board way back in 2017. So what you're supposed to do when you re-examine your master plan is you're supposed to update your zoning ordinance. That wasn't done, and it wasn't just that nobody did anything. Actually, there was a planner the city engaged who did prepare a zoning ordinance, but it's my understanding when that went to planning board, they weren't happy with it. And felt that it just made things more complicated. So the matter kind of languished really over, I would say, 2 commissions until it got to us, and then Ms. Fagley has done a lot of hard work to put together a proposed new zoning ordinance that would implement what the master plan land use element thereof recommends, and that would, and it has been circulated. The planning board chairman has seen it already, but if it gets introduced tonight, it must go to the planning board, and the planning board will determine whether or not it's consistent with the master plan, in particular the 2017 land use element. And then it comes back to this board after that for a public hearing. And so people that have an interest will be able to come and be able to ask questions or make comments, and then it would only be adopted at the end of that process. So that's what's in store.
Okay, awesome. I
Yeah,
appreciate
can I add
your
something there? So,
explanation. Yeah.
We've been working on this for almost a year. So it took a long time. As you guys remember, there was criticism received from the zoning board because this
This
doesn't
wasn't
run.
done.
And next, I will call your attention that it was 2017, so it was the last commission that didn't get it done after the municipal land use
The 2 commissions ago, wasn't it?
Because 2 commissions ago, I was here, we made
Right.
sure we did the land use plan. And we
Just the
started
last
the
commission
process,
didn't,
and then,
yeah.
yes.
Didn't okay, do the ordinance. So Barbara, I thank you for all the hard work. This is an undertaking, this project, for sure. Thank you. I think I had a couple other questions really quick. And I think, Mr. Compere, you answered this. The resolution number 5, there's a contract for, Data Logic. I wasn't quite sure what the scope of work was, just for the 35. If I'm hearing correctly, that's for the 5th floor. So there's certain licensing, and by the state we're regulated, we're required, I believe, if, quote, tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember, I think it was last year, I was reading that, we have to have certain things online for residents to be able to do, and we didn't have that software data to be able to do this. So this is the contract to make sure all of those licensings are online and can be done that way, correct?
And the software that we have is not nearly as robust as FPL, so we're upgrading in quality and scope of the software we're gonna have.
Okay.
It'll give our people in the field much more features than they have now. It comes with training, it comes with the software and licensing, so it's not only compliance with state law, it's also an upgrade in our system.
Okay, because I know when we met with GovPilot before, similar to, okay, so my other question was, how did we come about this company?
We researched best in class, we looked at Deptford, Cumberland County, Gloucester County, Camden County, and many municipalities, not all, many use FPL.
Use this one, okay. Okay, appreciate that. Last question, resolution number 6, there's 2 police vehicles on the agenda that we're purchasing. Was that already in the budget
That was already-
anticipated to be
That
for
was-
this year?
That was, in the budget previously, it was on a previous bond,
Got it.
so.
Okay, I think that's all. I appreciate everybody's answering of my questions. And that's all I had for my comments. Any new business?
No, Mayor.
Okay, and we'll close with here the public comment portion. If anybody has any comments for us as the commission, please come to the podium, state your name, address those comments or concerns. Please limit those to 5 minutes. Not everybody jump up at one time. Seeing
ahead, Mr.
nobody, will,
Malone.
huh?
Go ahead, Mr. Malone.
Seeing nobody, will close the public comment portion for the work session. Any closing comments of commissioners?
Nothing.
All right, thank you. I just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.